I've lurked enough to know most of you have already decided I'm the worst human being ever. To be honest, I agree. I always hated cheaters and thought cheating was one of the shittiest things you could do to a person. There will be at the end of the post. This will be a long one. I need to unpackage this and maybe get some help to figure out why this time was different. Thank you for your time. I 35 male cheated on my wife 33 female. I've had numerous relationships that from around age 13 or so to now. I never cheated on any of my girlfriends. I always tried to work to repair relationships including my marriage. But something inside me changed. So here's the background. I met my wife 6-ish years ago when I was 28-29 and she was 26-27. She was a coworker and we were both single. After about a year, I asked her out. We fell in love, but one problem we had was a habit of putting her sister's family first. While we were dating, this was completely understandable to me. Once we became engaged, then married, not so much. Sex life was fairly active at the beginning, but I usually initiated. 2 years ago, she 31 and I 33 got married. For the first year and a half, everything was going as usual. Then the sex became less frequent and her spending time with her sister's family increased. She would go to their house on the way home from work, and basically any plans I made for us were no longer a priority. She felt it was a waste of time and gas to invite me to their place just so she could have some sister and the kids' time. And in case anyone is wondering, yes, she really was at her sister's spending time with the kids because she takes lots of photos and posts them. So no, I don't get to use the she was cheating too bullshit excuse. I wasn't just sulking though. Nope, I was playing my own version of the pick-me game. Planning romantic evenings at a restaurant. Her I don't feel like going out. Planning romantic candlelit dinners at home with fairy lights all over the dining and living room. Her I just want to eat and go to sleep. Maybe I should do some more chores around the house. Her I would have done that Saturday. Shit, we need to talk about this. I'm just stressed from work and my online classes. Thing'll get better. Or God, why can't you just give me some space? At the 1 month ago mark, I didn't remember the last time we had sex. I told her I needed physical intimacy to feel loved. Her stop being so dramatic. We've been married for a while. This is normal. We'll get out of this valley and peak again. I begged her to go to marriage counseling with me. Her we don't need counseling. We'll be fine. With the holidays we were pretty busy, but we agreed that after Christmas we'd go to a nice romantic dinner together for our 2-year wedding anniversary. She agreed. I made the reservations. I made sure she put it in her phone. It was Saturday. Her sister called at like 10 a.m. and asked her if she could come over as her niece needed help with some school project. I offered to go with her, but she said she didn't want to deal with me being bored and I should just relax at the house. I was a little irritated because this was our anniversary, but the reservation was at 7 p.m. so she'd have plenty of time to help. Get ready, she'd take her dress and shoes with her and meet me there. I reminded her that the reservations were at 7 p.m. I made sure she had the restaurant's address in her phone. So I stayed home, and instead of spending time with my wife at home on our anniversary, I worked on some projects around the house. She sent me a selfie with her niece when she got to their place, and I decided to go for a run and then work out. Watched some TV and a movie she'd hate. And that brought me to 5:45 p.m. Got a shower, shaved, got dressed, got in the truck, and went to get some flowers for my wife. Got her one of those colorful bouquets with lots of different flowers and a single red rose. Then I texted her and said, see you at the restaurant. Then I drove to the restaurant. Got there by around 6:45 p.m. Texted I'm at the restaurant. There was no reply to my previous text either. At 6:50 p.m. I called. No answer. At 6:55 p.m. I went inside and they seated me almost immediately. 50% occupancy sucks for the restaurant, but I kinda like it. If you hadn't picked up on what was going down yet, let me save some time. My wife stood me up on our second wedding anniversary. I called, I texted, fucking nothing. Then I looked at her location. She was still at her sister's house. I texted her sister and asked if she'd left her phone there. No answer. So there I was, a married man on a romantic anniversary dinner date, staring at an empty seat across from me at 7:45 p.m. At that point, the movie of my relationship started playing back in my mind. Weird tangent, but I promise it's related. Have you ever seen those edits of a sitcom with the laugh track removed and things take on a screwed up or downright disturbing twist? Well, that's what happened with my relationship reel. Except the thing that was stripped out was my love for my wife. And it just made me angry. Every single slight, nasty comment, disrespectful tone or word, every rejection or reluctant agreement, all of it was laid bare. Now, I don't believe in fate, but I do believe in coincidence. And right then and there at that moment, the worst possible coincidence walked through the restaurant doors. A friend that had been quite flirtatious with me in the past. A friend I had distanced myself from when I was just dating my wife. Rose 32 female was the name of that ill-timed coincidence, and Rose was with 2 friends. Rose saw me. Rose approached me. Rose saw I was dining alone and asked if I wanted to join her. Sure, why not? Maybe it was being pissed off for the whiskey, but when Rose asked me why I was there alone, I answered her. Airing private business wasn't something I did either, by the way. It was going to be a night of firsts. The 3 ladies couldn't believe a woman would treat her man like that. They'd never do that to a man like me. The ego stroke was nice, but I didn't really buy it. So there I was having a nice dinner with 3 lovely ladies on my anniversary. And not a one of them was my wife. Then I got the text, "Sorry, ran late, coming home, I'm tired." It was at that point in my marriage, 8:43 p.m. Sat after Christmas 2020. That after reading that text I looked up into Rose's green eyes and made the decision to make tonight a night I would remember. God, I felt so justified in my decision. I deserved better. I could do better. I remember taking off my wedding band and putting it in my pocket. Each move was deliberate and precise. A decision. I started to really flirt with Rose then, and she met and raised the stakes. Her friends called it a night and asked if she was ready to go too. I told them I'd take her home and she agreed. Another decision. Around 9:15 p.m. I got a text. "I'm home. Where are you?" I turned off my location and then my phone. Another decision. A voice in my head I'd always listened to before said, "Call her a lift and go home." I told that voice to go screw itself. Another decision. "I should take you home," I said. I got the remainder of the check. The other 2 women had already put cash on the table for theirs. Another decision. I opened the door of my truck for her. She kissed me. I kissed her back. "You're crossing a line, but it's still just a kiss. Stop this and go home." Pound sand. Another decision. She decided to get me started on the drive to her house. I didn't stop her. Another decision. "We're at her place. Tell her you're sorry, but we can't do this. Then go home." I parked the car, got out, opened her door, and let her lead me to her front door. Decisions. I don't need to give you a play-by-play at this point. I think you all get the point. One decision after another. Breaking the vows of my broken marriage. I was wrong every single time. All the reasons in the world to end the marriage, but not to cheat. I'd like to say that the morning light brought better decisions, but it didn't. It was noon before I left Rose's apartment. I turned on my phone. There were only 2 more messages, "Where are you?" and "I'm going to bed." There was a missed call at around 8 a.m. Sunday, but nothing else. I got home. She wasn't there. I called her. "You need to come home. There's something I need to tell you." She actually said okay and was home 20 minutes later. She'd been at her sister's again. I told her everything. No trickle truth bullshit. No trying to make it less bad than it was. I'd like to say I broke down and begged for forgiveness, but all I felt was a weight lifting off my shoulders. I asked her what she wanted to do. She answered that we should probably get a divorce. At this she did start tearing up, and so did I. I agreed. We both agreed that we should make this as amicable as possible. There's no children. The house is in my name, and we were always too busy to get her added on. She decided to go stay with her sister. I apologized for cheating on her instead of just ending the marriage. She apologized for treating me like shit for the past 6 months at least. I'd meant all my vows when I said them. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. I wanted to have children with her. But I was the only one really in the marriage. And instead of doing the right thing and asking for a divorce, I cheated on my wife. I did something I'd never even thought myself capable of doing, let alone doing. I got complacent in the one thing I never thought I'd have to worry about. And I made a bunch of decisions along the way. I know I can't salvage my marriage, but can I do something to prevent this from happening again? Am I doomed to once a cheater, always a cheater? Is there a way I can redeem myself? If you can find it in you, can you offer any help? Thank you for your time.